Hello everyone. So today our practical in lab 2 is cardiac efficiency tests, and so we are going to discuss about it. It can also be called exercise tolerance tests, means ETT, or stress testing. So the first question that can be arised is what exactly these cardiac efficiency tests are. So these are cardiological tests that measure the heart's ability to respond to external stress in a controlled clinical environment. Okay, in a controlled clinical environment. Everybody in the heart has a reserve capacity which the body draws upon in case of emergencies, like exercise or um, fight or flight reaction, etc. These reserve capacity is diminished in pathological conditions, and this decreases the efficiency of the organ. So about these pathological conditions we will talk later. So the efficiency of cardiac performance can be determined by various factors like subjective symptoms like pain and dyspnea. Dyspnea means difficult or labored breathing or shortness of breath, and sometimes it is described as air hunger, means it is an uncomfortable feeling. This shortness of breath can range from mild and temporary to serious and long lasting. Well, it is sometimes difficult to diagnose and treat dyspnea because there can be many different causes, but we won't go into detail right now. Then clinical examination of heart, radiological examination of heart, then echocardiography, electrocardiography, and by performing cardiac efficiency tests. Now let's note down some basic things. Efficiency of circulation lies in giving a prompt response to a sudden stress and returning back to the resting condition as soon as the stress is removed. The response of the cardiovascular system to standardized exercise is the single and the best test for assessing the efficiency of heart. Any extra activity over the resting basal level, like muscular exercise, demands additional nutrition as well as faster removal of metabolic products. To meet this demand during exercise, there is progressive increase in the heart rate and blood pressure. The increase in heart rate will be proportional to severity of exercise. Means if the exercise is more, if you do more exercise, the heart rate will be more. If the exercise is mild, there won't be much increase in heart rate. But if you do severe exercise, the heart rate will increase accordingly. However, after the exercise is over, these values return to the pre-exercise levels during the next few minutes. The extent of increase in heart rate as well as time taken by the heart to return to basal level will give an idea about the cardiac efficiency. The fact that compared to a trained person, there is a greater increase in the heart rate and blood pressure in an untrained individual during exercise, and that these values take a longer time to return to basal level forms the basis of cardiac or exercise tolerance tests. So what do you mean by untrained individual? In general, untrained individual means a person who is living a sedentary lifestyle or who doesn't do any exercise time to time. So there is untrained individual, and in these person, these values they take longer time to return to basal level compared to trained person. Trained person means you can say an athlete who does regular exercise. Then the response to physical exercise depends on the cardiac reserve, means efficiency of heart nutrition, muscle power, skills and motivation. Therefore, cardiac efficiency can also be used to test physical test of an individual. So now we will talk about cardiac reserve. Now, cardiac reserve. What is cardiac reserve? The maximum percentage that the cardiac output can increase above the normal level is called the cardiac reserve. Or in other words, it is the difference between the basal cardiac output of an individual and the maximum cardiac output that can be achieved in that person, also known as efficiency of the heart. So cardiac reserve can be calculated as maximum cardiac output minus basal cardiac output upon maximum cardiac output into 100. Now, normal value of cardiac reserve. So in a healthy young adult, it will be 300 to 400% of normal cardiac output. In athletes, it will be 500 to 600%. And in heart failure, there will be no cardiac reserve. So in exercise, the cardiac output of a healthy young adult can rise to about 5 times normal. So this is an increase above normal of 400% roughly. So cardiac reserve is 400%. Cardiac output increases during exercise due to increase in heart rate and stroke volume. So now let's check some factors which can affect cardiac reserve. So any factor that prevents the heart from pumping blood satisfactorily decreases the cardiac reserve. These factors can be 1. Ischemic heart disease, 2. Primary myocardial disease, 3. Vitamin deficiency, 4. Valvular heart disease, and 5. Myocardial damage. So any of these factors can reduce cardiac reserve. So as we already discussed, that cardiac output is increased during exercise because of increase in heart rate and stroke volume. So what are the causes of increased heart rate or pulse rate during exercise? So heart rate increases proportionally to the severity of exercise and can be due to 1. Increased sympathetic activity, 2. Decrease in vagal tone, 3. Increased activity of the limbic system and motor cortex due to psychic stimuli directly acting on medulla, 4. Increased peripheral reflexes, 5. Liberation of hormones into circulation, mainly catecholamines and thyroxine, specifically T4, and last one is increase in body temperature. So as you all know that in every practical we discuss the clinical significance of that particular practical. So even here, what is the clinical significance of doing cardiac efficiency tests? So according to physiological point of view, physiological indications are to assess the work capacity of a healthy individual, then to determine the physical fitness of population groups, then to improve the performance of athletes, sportsmen and military personnel. Then according to physician point of view, medical indications are in aiding the diagnosis of heart and lung diseases, then pre and post operative assessment of cardiothoracic surgical patients, then rehabilitation of cardiac individuals, and the last one is screening workers for disability compensation. So these are the best tests for determining the efficiency of the heart as a pumping organ. Now let's talk in brief about physical fitness. So you all must be knowing that physical fitness is very important. Even before or after joining any job, a physical fitness certificate is a must. So it's really important. So what is physical fitness? A person is considered to be fit for a particular task or activity if he accomplishes it with a reasonable degree of efficiency without being fatigued and with rapid recovery from the effects of that exertion. Thus, physical fitness is a relative term and it is impossible to make an absolute distinction between fitness and unfitness. We will see how. So, what are the components? They can be anatomical fitness, then physiological fitness, and last but not the least is psychological fitness. So, the first one is anatomical fitness. So, in anatomical fitness, we do measurements of height, weight, and other parameters. When all the organ parts of the body which are essential for the task are functionally present, an individual can be considered as anatomically fit. As an example, a man without a leg may not be a runner but can do a lot of other things. Okay. Then physiological fitness. It means the capacity of an individual for the skillful performance of the task along with the rapid recovery. It includes muscular strength, motor skills, endurance, etc. A man with a weak masculine lacks capacity for doing the work requiring muscular strength but may acquire high degree of motor skills. So the last but not the least is psychological fitness. It depends upon the moral and religious training of the individual and the impact of the social and economic environment upon his life. It implies the necessary emotional stability, drive, motivation, intelligence, and desire to learn to perform a task. But unfortunately, there are no 100% parameters that can, 200% assess the psychological fitness of a particular individual. Now, along with indications, there must be some contraindications for doing exercise testing or for doing cardiac efficiency tests. So, of course, there are some, and they are anxiety, ischemic heart disease, unstable metabolic conditions, threatening signs of heart failure, musculoskeletal dysfunctions, and locomotor disturbances. Well, there can be many other factors as well. So, a physician needs to consider all these things as well as a physiologist should consider. So, that was mostly all about theory part. Now, let's move toward the practical aspect. So, as you know that in every practical, there are some prerequisites which you need to take care of before starting the practical. So, even in these exercises as well. So, there are some, uh, and since you are at home right now, so there are some things which you should take care of. First, don't do this exercise immediately after taking lunch or after taking heavy food. Okay. Second, try to wear light clothes, not like tight jeans and all. That won't be that much beneficial. Then if you have some problem, don't do the exercise immediately. Relax yourself. You should be relaxed, completely relaxed before starting the exercise. Remember, we discussed about all these things while doing the pulse and also in blood pressure, where you were supposed to do the same kind of hopping exercise. Okay. So first, hopping exercise. Now this is in general that what is the procedure or what will be the response and what you need to do. So in procedure, there is recording of basal pulse rate. So you all know how to record your basal pulse rate. So remember, you need to record your basal pulse rate before starting exercise, and that should be per minute. So you need to record your pulse rate for 1 minute, and you must know how to record your pulse by now because you already done pulse, you already done blood pressure. After recording it, note it down. Then hopping on each foot for 20 times. and then count the pulse rate immediately after the exercise. So what will be the response? In a healthy heart, little disturbance of breathing. Pulse rate returns to pre-exercise level in about a minute. Why? Because you are not doing severe exercise. You are just hopping on each foot for 20 times. So if your heart is healthy, which I assume you guys are young, so the pulse rate will return to the pre-exercise level within about a minute. So while doing it, stop the exercise immediately at any point of time if you feel breathlessness which is intolerable, because of course you're gonna feel some breathlessness because you're doing exercise, but if you feel it is intolerable, then you can stop it. Also stop the exercise if you feel too much fatigued in your legs or too much of exhaustion, and also if you feel pain, constriction or suffocation in the chest, which mostly you won't feel because you all are young lads, so it won't be much problem to you. Now open your journal to page 97. Did it? So you can see there on the central and bottom part, our first procedure is to calculate work done. So work done from stepping exercise. So in this you need to do stepping exercise. Now again you all did stepping exercise while doing a practical of pulse and blood pressure. You must all have a little stool or little table in your home as well where you can easily do it. So you need to do it here 4 times. One is 12 times stepping in a minute, then 15 times steppings in a minute, then 20 times per minute and 30 times per minute. So you will know how to do it. Count the pulse rate before and immediately after cessation of exercise. Give sufficient rest in between. This is important. See, when you do first exercise, that is 12 times stepping a minute. After finishing the exercise, count your pulse rate for a minute. So let your pulse come to the pre-exercise level. Take some rest, take some deep breath, have little water, and then perform the another exercise which is 15 times stepping per minute. Don't rush. Okay. So here what we need to do, we need to do the calculation of work done. So see in the bottom there is a table is been given. So first is rate of exercise. You can see there is 12 steps, 15, 20 and 30. The second is body weight, kilogram. So that will be unique. You need to write down your own body weight. So I have put it 70. You have to put your body weight, whatever it is, 55, 56, 60, whatever. Okay. Then height of steps in meter. So that will be 0.5 meter in all. Then work done, kilogram meter. So how to calculate work done? See there, the formula is given. Calculate work done by body weight into height of steps into rate of exercise. So how to do body weight is, say 70 into height of steps 0.5 into rate of exercise. So if you did 12 steps per minute, so that will be 12. So 70 into 0.5 into 12. So that will be 420. Okay. In case of you are doing 15 times per minute, what will be the calculation of work done? That will be 70 into 0.5 into 15. So that will be 525. In case of 20 steps per minute, 70 into 0.5 into 20. So that will be 700. And in case of 30 steps per minute, body weight is 70 into height of steps 0.5 into rate of exercise 30. So work done will be 1050. Okay. And in the last one is pulse rate per minute after exercise. So that is when you stop doing the exercise, immediately monitor your pulse per minute. So you need to write down your pulse per minute immediately after exercise. Okay, you just need to count your pulse for a minute immediately after exercise, and whatever your pulse comes, you need to write down it here. So I have just mentioned these values, say my values or just the reference values, but you need to put down your value, your real value. Okay, got it? So you need to write down like this, and then we will put a graph. I'll show you. Now you need to draw a graph of work done against pulse rate per minute after exercise. Okay, on page number 98 there is a graph paper, so you need to draw it. It's very easy actually, you already done it. So here on X is work done, and on Y pulse rate per minute. Okay, so you start with the resting pulse. Whatever your resting pulse was, which was before exercise, just note it down. Say here it's 75. Then just see, like in my reference value, if the work done, when the work done was 420 and the pulse rate per minute after exercise was 100. When work done was 525, the pulse rate per minute exercise after exercise 106. Work done 700, pulse rate per minute after exercise 116. And work done 1050, pulse rate per minute after exercise 125. So just do it according to the values you got. Okay, I have just given the reference values, but you need to mention your own values. So just draw a graph. You all know how to do it. It's very easy. Okay, you must do it. Don't forget it. Then our next test is Harvard step test. Understand it closely how to do it and how to calculate the recovery pulse. First, ask the subject, that is you, yourself, to step on and off a bench of 50 centimeter height 30 times per minute for 5 minutes. Means you need to step on and step off a bench for 5 minutes 30 times a minute. That means once in 2 seconds. Okay, 30 times per minute for 5 minutes. You need to do it continuously without taking rest. Rest લીધા વગર 5 મિનિટ સુધી continue કરવાનું છે. And then count the recovery pulse rate between 1 to 1.5 minute, 2 to 2.5 minute and 3 to 3.5 minute. Add the 3 counts and calculate the fitness index. Okay, so see here on the downside, calculation of recovery pulse. So it's written time duration after completion of exercise in minute. Means when you need to count your pulse. So when you finish the exercise after 5 minutes, for first minute you don't need to measure your pulse. 1 minute rest immediately after the exercise. You don't measure your pulse for 1 minute. Exercise પૂરી થાય એના 1 મિનિટ સુધી કંઈ કરવાનું નથી. Then 1 to 1.5 minute, that is for 30 seconds, count your pulse. Okay, and then note it down. Whatever your pulse is, you don't need to multiply into 2 times, for like to calculate per minute. No, just calculate your pulse for the particular 30 seconds, 1 to 1.5 minute. Whatever your pulse is, just note it down. Say 65. Then take 30 seconds of rest again, which is 1.5 to 2 minutes. Don't do anything. Then again count your pulse from 2 to 2.5 minutes, and then count your pulse. Whatever your pulse is, write down. Say 54. These are all reference values. Okay, your values will be different for sure depending on how you do the exercise. Then again rest for 30 seconds, which is 2.5 to 3 minutes. Don't do anything. Then again measure the pulse for 30 seconds for 3 to 3.5 minutes, and note it down your pulse. Say 49, and then make a total sum of your recovery pulse. So say here it is 168. Got it? Again, don't get confused. When you finish your exercise after 5 minutes, for the first minute you don't count your pulse, take rest. Then count your pulse for 30 seconds, that is 1 to 1.5 minutes. Whatever pulse is, note it down. 30 seconds rest. Again count your pulse for 30 seconds in between 2 to 2.5 minutes. Note it down your pulse. Rest for 30 seconds. Okay, and then again count your pulse between 3 to 3.5 minutes. Whatever pulse is, note it down. आ गया समझ में? Don't get confused. Usually people get confused here. एक्सरसाइज करने के बाद 1 मिनट तक कुछ नहीं करना है. उसके बाद 30 सेकंड्स को पल्स लेना है. 1 से 1.5 मिनट जो भी पल्स आया लिख लो. 30 सेकंड्स रेस्ट. 2 to 2.5 मिनट्स जो भी पल्स आया लिख लो. 30 सेकंड्स रेस्ट. अगेन 3 to 3.5 मिनट्स, जितना पल्स आया लिख लो, 30 सेकंड्स रेस्ट, ओके, एंड देन तीनों का सम कर लो, so that is 168, that is a reference value here. Now calculate the fitness index. So fitness index is equal to duration of exercise in seconds upon 2 into sum of recovery pulse rate counts into 100. So say in here, in our case, you know the reference values I have put, what it will be. So it will be duration of exercise in seconds, it will be 300. So 300 upon 2 into sum of recovery pulse, that is 168. So 300 upon 2 into 168 into 100 is equal to 89.29. So fitness index of less than 50 is of poor category, 50 to 80 is of average category, and more than 80 is of good category. So categorize your fitness. So you need to calculate your own fitness index, and assume most of you will have you will be in a good category. It will be more than 80. Okay, so this is not that difficult at all. Now there is a question. Say if some students, or if say some of you will not be able to continue the exercise for 5 minutes. Say you did the exercise for 3 minutes and then you are no longer able to continue it. What will you do? Ideally you should continue for 5 minutes, ideally, but in some case, or anyhow you are not able to finish it, then you know, for whatever time you did the exercise, just note it down. Say if you did it for 3 minutes, then follow all these procedures. हमें जो करना है सेम चीज करना है, but just in duration of exercise in seconds, instead of 300 you need to put 180 seconds, because you did just for 3 minutes. Got it? So this is about Harvard step test, and you should know how to do it. Then the last test of this practical, Harvard step test again, or master's step test according to some authors. So the principle is, after doing exercise, in what time your pulse rate comes to basal pre-exercise level. We need to check that कि भाई एक्सरसाइज करने के बाद कितने टाइम में आपके पल्स रेट जो एक्सरसाइज के पहले थे इन अ नॉर्मल स्टेट, इन अ बेसल स्टेट, वो कितने टाइम में आ जाते हैं, वो हमें देखना है. ठीक है. सो मेथड इज ऑलमोस्ट द सेम. टेक द रेस्टिंग पल्स पर मिनट ऑफ कोर्स, and then take pulse rate after mild, moderate and severe exercise. So सबसे पहले अपने pulse rate काउंट करो पर मिनट, नोट डाउन करके रख लो, whatever it is, say 70 per minute or 74 per minute or whatever, नोट डाउन करके रख लो. उसके बाद in mild exercise, so climb and descend the single step 20 times in a minute. So that is once in 3 seconds, 20 times in a minute. Now count the pulse rate immediately after the exercise for 15 seconds, and then at the interval of 30 seconds till it comes to the basal pulse rate. Normally pulse rate should come to normal within 3 minutes. So confuse नहीं होना है, समझ लीजिए क्या करना है. प्री एक्सरसाइज पल्स रेट आपके पास है पर मिनट, ठीक है. उसके बाद डू द एक्सरसाइज. एक्सरसाइज करने के बाद इमीडिएटली टेक योर पल्स फॉर 15 सेकेंड्स. उसके बाद 15 सेकेंड्स रेस्ट. अगेन काउंट योर पल्स फॉर 50 सेकेंड. Then again 15 seconds rest. See, I already mentioned it here. 0 to 15 P. P means pulse. Count your pulse. Then 15 to 30 seconds rest. Then 30 to 45 seconds pulse rate. Again count your pulse rate. Then 45 to 60 seconds rest. You need to do it till your pulse rate comes to the basal level. So you know, while in a resting phase, roughly you can जो भी आपको 15 सेकंड में जो भी पल्स आया, you can multiply it into 4 times. Say if your normal pulse rate was 80 per minute, तो एक्सरसाइज करने के बाद 15 सेकंड्स के लिए आपने पल्स काउंट किया, ठीक है. से 30 to 45 में आपका पल्स आया से 25. ओके, सो इन अ रेस्टिंग फेज ऑफ 15 सेकंड्स यू कैन रफली कैलकुलेट इट कि बाय 25 into 4 is 100, which is more than the basal level pulse rate. So you need to continue it. So in short, आपको कहाँ तक ये करना है कि भाई जब तक आपके पल्स रेट बेसल लेवल के पल्स रेट तक ना आ जाए. आया समझ? So it is pretty much the same in the moderate and severe as well. In moderate exercise, climb and descend 2 steps 20 times in a minute. Count the pulse rate as well as before and till it comes to the basal pulse rate. Normally pulse rate should come to normal within 3 to 5 minutes. And in severe exercise, climb and descend maximum 2 steps you can do within a minute. Means 1 minute के अंदर आप जितनी तेजी से आप कर सकते हो, you know, like whatever, I mean, the fast you can get, you can do it. Then count the pulse rate as before till it comes to the basal pulse rate. Normally it should come to basal pulse rate within 5 to 7 minutes. Got it? आया समझ? बस इतना ही करना है कि भाई इसमें क्या करना है, एक्सरसाइज करने के बाद 15-15 सेकंड के लिए पल्स मेजर करना है. पहले 15 सेकंड पल्स मेजर किए, उसके बाद 15 सेकंड रेस्ट, अगेन 15 सेकंड के लिए पल्स मेजर किए, अगेन 15 सेकंड रेस्ट. आपको कहाँ तक करना है? जहां तक आपके पल्स रेट एक्सरसाइज के पहले के जो नॉर्मल पल्स है वहां तक ना पहुंचे. ठीक है? एंड अगेन रिमेंबर व्हाट यू आपने मेजर किया था एक्सरसाइज के पहले, दैट वाज इन मिनट पर मिनट पल्स रेट, और अभी आप कर रहे हैं वो 15 सेकंड के लिए कर रहे हैं. तो रफली यू नो इन अ रेस्टिंग फेज यू कैन कैलकुलेट इट, मल्टीप्लाई इनटू 4. गॉट इट? सो डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज, इट्स वेरी इजी. सो दिस इज द वे टू डू इट. Now let's see in brief about some other cardiac efficiency tests. So the first one is treadmill test, a very sophisticated stress test employed these days. See, treadmill test is very common. People call it a TMT. TMT is treadmill test. It is very frequently performed. You know, in big companies, every employee once a year they need to go through this test, or even in general population after certain age. If a person wants to know how his heart is functioning, or if he feels that there is some problem in his heart, if he feels some chest pain or you know difficulty in breathing, and then he goes for a treadmill test. Treadmill is a motor driven belt over which a subject stands. As the belt slips under his feet, he is obliged to stimulate walking in order to prevent himself from falling. So even you guys should be knowing about treadmill, right? In almost every fitness center you will see the treadmill. So it is almost the same treadmill, but there is just some difference here. The spread of walking will depend upon the speed at which the belt moves. The latter can be adjusted at a desired level. The intensity of workload can also be increased by giving a slope to the belt. So the individual is subjected to standardized incremental increase in external workload according to a definite protocol, while the person's 12-lead ECG, arm blood pressure and symptoms are continuously monitored by a physician present throughout the test. So that is the difference. I mean, if you go to the fitness center, you know, there will be a treadmill, you just do the treadmill, but here the physician will be present, and while you are doing it, the physician will monitor your ECG, your blood pressure and other things, and then he will correlate with the other clinical signs and symptoms. Okay, so this is about treadmill test. Then the another one is bicycle ergometry. It is pretty much the same as treadmill test. With a bicycle ergometer, a workload can be changed quickly and easily, and if a person becomes distressed and kisses pedaling, work stops instantly. So you must have seen this bicycle ergometry kind of thing, you know, when you go to the gym or a health center as well. However, it does not produce high maximum O2 consumption since all large muscle groups are not engaged during exercise. Okay. All these shortcomings can be overcome in treadmill. Since all the shortcomings of bicycle ergometry can be overcome in treadmill test, hence treadmill test is better and natural source of exercise. And last but not the least, it may be noted that exercise testing can neither at present definitely excludes the presence of coronary artery disease, nor it is absolutely specific in predicting its presence. So these are just supporting tests. You need to correlate it with other clinical findings as well. So that's all about today's practical. Thank you very much.